Hi everybody, my name is Daniel Ahmed and I'm a cloud security architect. Today we are going to start a series in this channel. This series will revolve around finishing challenges like EntraGoat, Azure Goat, any kind of challenges that are related to Azure or Entra ID, some vulnerable machines, some vulnerable Terraform deployments or Entra ID deployments. We will test them out and we will try to capture the flags. Today we're going to perform this EntraGoat lab. If you want to install it for yourself in your own Entra ID environment, you can do this using this repository. This is a very good repository created by Sam Paris. He also has other tools like Golden GMSA. This is a very good tool. I've also used it, but we'll be following this EntraGoat, and you can set it up using Git. You can download the repository and then allow users to run commands and just run this PowerShell command. It will open up the interface like this, and you can see there are 6 challenges. We will start from first challenge today and then we'll move on to the next challenges. After this series we will make our own challenges as well, just like EntraGoat. So when we click on a challenge, there is a run setup button. It gives us a prompt and we can just allow it to run the setup. What it actually does is it asks us to log into our account that as a global admin, and it makes all the setup for us in the tenant. So we don't have to actually set everything up. Similarly, we can also run a cleanup after we are done with everything. We will run a cleanup and it will delete everything that it created. And we can also see the solution, but we are not going to see the solution as of yet. We are trying to figure out how to work it out. So I ran it already and I got my credentials. It actually spits out credentials like this. So it will give you the credentials for a low privilege user like this, and it will also give us the target, what we actually want to get. This is the flag location, extension attribute in the user EntraGoat. So what we're going to do is first try to log in and see what we get. So all right, so first things first, let's check out what actually context we have in this user. Get mg context. Okay, so we have a lot of scopes here, and there is also this delegated auth type. So we can find out the scopes. We can list this out as well. We will just add the mg context into a user variable, and we will find out the scopes. So you can see user.read, user read all, and user read write all as well. Email, on-prem directory synchronization, read write all. These are the user scopes that we have, but we don't really know what to do with them because we need to find out what actually we own in this tenant. So to find out that, we have to see what enterprise applications or what kind of service principles we own. So to find out, get mg user owned objects. We'll use the user ID of David Martinez, whatever we have here. Let's just copy this, and that's all. So we got this. This is ID of some resource. We don't really know what it actually is, but this tells us that we have access of owner on this. To find out what actually this is, we're just going to find out the directory object. All right, so to find out what this resource actually is, we'll just type in resource, put it into a variable, and then we can query it as a service principal, see if this is a service principal or not. So because most of the times when you have resource access on Entra ID, it's either an enterprise application or a service principal. To find out that, we can simply, and we'll provide it the service principal ID, which is res, and we'll find out the name, display name, and app ID. We have a finance analytics dashboard. This is the application ID, and this is the ID. So this matches. Of course, this is the application we have admin roles on. Now to find out what actually roles this application has, this service principal has, we will have to figure out it step by step. First, we will find out the object ID. This is the object ID, right? So let's save it inside of this. And let's save the tenant ID as well. All right, so now we can actually query this finance analytics dashboard and check what kind of roles this service principal has. All right, so to do that, we'll save the service principal object ID into a variable. We're going to find out the application ID. We're just automating all this. And we're going to add a secret. Why we're doing this is because we are trying to add a secret which will allow us to access this resource, this service principal. Without a secret, we cannot actually interact with the resources and the roles that it has. So as we already have an owner role on it, we can add a secret inside of it. By adding the secret, we can use the secret that we generated and try to authenticate as this ID. So to print it out, we're just going to say client secret. This is the client secret. We have it now. So let's just disconnect from the current session. Now we're going to connect with the service principal. Before we connect with the service principal, we have to convert the client secret into a secure string, because we remember from our last videos as well, a token or a client secret is not valid until and unless it's a secure string. So let me convert it into a secure string and save it into a variable. And now we'll try to connect. All right, so now we're going to connect and check. 1 second, tenant ID. What did we save the tenant ID as? Tenant D, okay. All right, so now we're connected as the service principal. Let's check out the resources and the roles that we have. So for that, we're going to just use this automated script that we made. What this actually is doing is finding out the roles by this service principal, and we're checking all the objects, and it will print out all the roles we have. So we have Privileged Authentication Administrator. All right. So we know one thing, that this user, EntraGoat admin, is a privileged user, right? So we can try to change its password. We can reset its password. We can also assign it a temporary access passcode. And what this will do is, without resetting the password, it will allow us to get a token and we can log in once as this user. But we don't really need to do that. We can simply reset the password because it's a test environment. But if it's actually a lab, it's actually a threat actor that is going to do it, he will most probably use a temporary access passcode if it's allowed. So we just reset the password. To reset the password, we simply use these commands. What it's actually doing is first creating a profile for this password and not asking us to actually reset the password next time we log in. So this will be the temporary password now. And we're going to update the user with this profile of the password. And now we have this password for this Entra ID user. Let's just log in to the account and see. All right, so let's just copy this. Stay signed in. You see the password that we reset is now used to log in. All right, so we are logged in as the user. MFA warning. All right, no worries. Okay, so we already know by the data that it gave us flag location is extension attribute 1. So we simply go to the user, Entra. You can see here extension attributes, view, and this is the flag. We've already copied it, and now we can paste this. Challenge accepted. All right, so today's lab is done. We will try to finish one lab each every day in the next 5 consecutive days. But I will try to make my own challenges and put it on GitHub as well after these 5 are completed. I have more complex challenges than this. These are already very well written, but I want to extend on those. So thank you for watching. Assalamu alaikum.